Hey everybody, I am back with another celebrity. We're going to take a look at Lisa and Jason. I pulled the oracle card for them and I have this situation will improve. It's definitely something that is a thorn in between them two. Well, how about this? As I was meditating for these messages, I got a third party just a feeling over me for them. And it felt like it was Lisa, and Jason. That's how it felt. Lisa, Lisa, and Jason. A relationship with herself in the midst of her relationship with him. There's a double portion of her that he is married to because it's something that needs to be elevated, tweaked. It feels like she is the spiritual lead of this relationship and she needs to call a meeting and sit everyone to the table. And why did I just say everyone when this is okay? Everyone to the table so she can give out the next direction and the next plan. That's how it felt. The queen, the leader, she is the high priestess. She is the man and woman, feels like, mother and father of this connection. And she has a thorn within herself, which means there's a thorn within the relationship. So that's all I saw. I needed to get that out first before we dig in. This situation will improve. What's going to improve? We're going to deal with the burdens and the stress of this relationship. There is a burden here. There is some issues here. There is some heavy weights here. It really is. And we're trying to find understanding of that. I don't have anything major on the table, but there is some type of thorn within it all. You got this energy here. There's a burden in trying to get this connection to a point where it used to be. So I just thought about a roller coaster, making it up to the highest height and then falling down. That's how that made me feel. And they made it down, and it's very important for it to get back up. If not, there's an issue. There's a conflict. The relationship has went down in some type of way, or is not at the highest energy where it used to be. And they're having a hard time getting back to that high, to that place. I have a tower here. There's some burdens in getting back to a better place in time in the relationship. Let's see if we can dig into those burdens a little bit more, because I don't quite get it yet. And I kind of feel like this is all inside of Lisa as of right now. It doesn't feel like it's shared between the two of them. I just kind of feel like she sits to the table and say, we have a matter at hand. We have something we need to discuss. This is the situation. We went to the highest height, the highest feeling, the highest place that we were able to go. And now we're not there. And we are heavy burdened by not being at that high. And we need to get back there again. So this burden just filled up some heartbreak and pain and more healing that is needed. Something about fighting and arguing that needs to stop. The war between the two. Fighting, striving, striking, fighting. some independence that is needed. This makes me feel like the relationship is not balanced. Something is off, because I just kind of saw her doing the laundry and not feeling like she has enough help. And of course, she's not doing the laundry. The laundry is a sign of work. I feel like she's working and it's not enough help. And he may even be working and it's not enough help for him. For some reason, there's this feeling of, okay. So it feels like if each of them was in an interview, they will say something to this point. I'm doing this marriage by myself. And then the other will say the same thing. I'm doing this marriage by myself. I just got that kind of feeling. That's the burdens. The burdens is some unhealed situations, needing to heal more, fighting, or maybe the fight to keep the relationship up or going. And this feeling of doing the work alone. That's what's happening. How could that be? Both feeling suffocated with the work of the relationship. Both feeling like there's not enough help in the relationship. And now let's look at this right here to see where they want to get back to. But we know that the situation will improve. Where are they trying to get back to? Space? That's weird. They want to get back to a place where there's space between them. I did feel the suffocation too. There was more room and more space. This makes me feel like the quarantine moment. Like, get out the house immediately. Maybe it's just something so simple as, we've been in the house together for too long. It's time for you to get back to work. Because around here, you're not helping me with this and you're not helping me with that. Whatever the that is, I don't know. But what I have here is the energies of a couple that needs to know that things will improve and things will get better. And recognizing these heavy burdens that's in this connection. Understanding that they still need to be healed and released. There's burdens of fighting or some type of fight to stay afloat. And there's a burden of feeling like one, both of them feeling like the other is not assisting them in the work of the marriage, in the work of the relationship. And I just saw the letters marriage. I saw the letters. I saw it being spelled out. Which makes me kind of feel like that's what they don't want. Whatever that restriction type feeling is around that word. It's like, we created a marriage. We need to go back to the way we were. We were back in a place where we gave each other space. We had abandoned the meaning of marriage. Remember that day when it didn't even care about labels? Remember the day when the accountability wasn't even there, the rules wasn't there, there was no fence around us and no instructions. And we need to get back to the way we used to be. We was more free-spirited, free-flowing. We had more space between each other, because that is our soulmate relationship. That's our destiny. That's who we're supposed to be. Feels like they want to renew their vows. If there were ever any vows. This relationship was easier before. And it was loose and it was open and it was a great place for them both. A freedom, I want to say. And it seems like they becoming too, I almost said religious, but that's not the word. Restricted. Or they becoming like other couples or they are becoming too structured. So this oracle is pretty much saying the situation will improve. I know you guys desire to get back to a time when you wasn't so structured, because that's what brings you guys together. Their soulmate chemistry is wrapped around the space in the relationship. Other than that, why would anybody want to reconcile to a time where they abandon each other? So I'm going to call it space. Very stubborn, the two of them. But I still have her as the lead. You want to get back to a time when there was space between them. Back to a time when they felt the most compatible. Let's see. Although the cards doesn't make any sense, I'm starting to make sense of it in my spirit. Yeah. Well, feels like they're taking a test right now. That's what it feels like. This is a weird moment right here. I'm going to be patient as I sit here, because I'm looking at this 4 of Wands, and it feels so free. It feels like being at the top of a roller coaster and wide open, and it almost got this high energy, like really spiritually high. But then we got this abandonment here, and then we got this 2 of Cups here, and then we got disappointment and bondage inside of the 2 of Cups, which makes me feel like the sentence is, let's get back to how we was. We didn't get too close. And that sounds weird. But who am I? It's almost like they need to pull apart for the situation to improve. Usually when you need to pull apart, it's so that you can do some cleansing, some healing, understanding, acceptance, to go back in. So let's check out this Tower. That Tower brings in the Hierophant in reverse. But that looks like a divorce to some people. But it just looks like a death to me, a change. It looks like a change in the duties, a change in a title, a change in something. This Tower comes in to separate. The situation will improve with separation, with abandoning each other. And that brings more out of their soul towards each other. To separate. Definitely dealing with some spiritual tests and growth here. Both of them. Maybe looking at them as an individual will bring us more understanding to what that message is about. When I go to Lisa, I can't say nothing is strange anymore. So hopefully I don't say that word anymore. And I just got her energies towards him as an option. Like, yeah, he's an option. This is sarcastic, but honest, sincere communication that I feel. Like, how do you feel about him spiritually? He's an option. He's one of my greatest options. He's an option. He's one of my greatest options that is a part of my Ten of Cups. He's a part of my being. He is an option. He was one of the best options, or a great option inside of my happiness. Like, she is the tree. She is the tree. And she has fruit on her tree. And he is one of those pieces. I don't even have him as the center of her life. And might look negative to some, but I think that's very healthy with a balance, of course. But he's an option to her happiness. That's what it says here. He's an option. He's one of the options. He's one of the parts to my happiness, to my family, to my womb, to who I am, and to what I desire. He is an option. He is a part of my happiness. That's what he is. But, and I don't know if this is a but, we are not aligned. See, that's what she sits down to the table and say. This is the meeting that she calls out. Let's have a meeting. She's a spiritual leader. She is the leader of this connection. You are a part of my happiness. You are a part of my Ten of Cups, but we are not aligned. And we need to move forward. In what way? We're about to find out. But it's something about this that she speaks, and she believes that it's not aligned between the two of them. And I also agree. Let's see what that is to her. Why is that here? Why you don't feel that this is the timing, or you guys are not aligned with each other. And she believes that there is a lack of understanding between the two of them. There is a disconnect mentally. We are not mentally aligned with each other. We are not producing the same thoughts, and we are not understanding each other. And we need to release that. Someone likes to argue. Because I just felt that. And I think it's him. I think he likes to argue. And the argue that I'm talking about is the repetitive proving of a thought. Repeating themselves and proving a thought. That's the argument that I feel. Doesn't have to be screaming, but it's constant. It's almost like wanting to change the mind of her. Like, let me change your mind. Let me change your view. Let me change your thought with my thought. Debate. Debater. That's what's off. Now that makes sense. The minds are off. The minds are conflicted with each other. Her mind and his mind, there is a breakdown where they are not aligned with each other. Let's try another one. This is her view, and I believe her. I believe it. And we are also aligned. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's where the portion of, or the part, when I said she's doing the laundry by herself, That's what's happening. Thank God I finally got in. Here we go. We ready. He is a part of her happiness. She has so much self-worth too. Oh my goodness. The pride that I feel is ridiculous. I wish you can see a side of my mind. I actually see this olden day, I can't even explain the type of like plantation type feeling and the outfits, and I just see this white dress that she picks up, and just so much pride and posture. I see it. And if you wanted to know how he played a part of her happiness, he would probably be the belt around her waist. And that's freaking hot, because it doesn't even go inner. It's outside. Her inner happiness is within her. It just feels like he's not in her heart, he's on her heart. That's how that feels. And now I understand where they're not aligned at through her energy, and why the situation will improve, because there is some space that's needed. I get the abandonment that's needed now. I understand the reconciliation or the reunion that they both need to get back to, because somebody dropped the ball up there when they came down. It's almost like, hey, when I met you, you was a shit, and you was smart, and you was intelligent, and you had your own thoughts, and you were always aiming to merge and not aiming to separate. You were speaking and talking and thinking, and your wisdom and knowledge was to match me and was to not bring conflict. I'm loving you on top of the extra work I have to do for us, which is air energy. She just made me feel like, why I gotta do all the thinking? But this is the way that it's been for a while. He at the highest height with her, and they are at the highest height. And once they came down, they left parts of them up there. And this is her part. They're not aligned with the thinking and how to resolve conflict or issues, and she's loving him on top of that. That's the work that she's doing by herself. Or that's the area where she wants help at. And so even though she know that it's happening, she still chooses to move forward. And let's see what that means on this moving forward. I got Cancer right here. Cancer comes in to help her deal with the portions that she feels is aligned, out of alignment. Does that mean to move physically? Aquarius pops out. So powerful, Lisa. Oh my goodness. Really, really are able to see. She sees clearly too. Acceptance might be different, but I have her seeing clearly and feeling it too. It's like sometimes when I'm doing messages, it's just a bunch of talk, and the talk is not connected to a feeling. She is emotionally available. In spite of the things that they are out of alignment on, she's still moving towards the promise and the destiny of what they are having or supposed to have, or she's moving towards manifesting something that is close to her or something that is aligned. It's like, what do you do when you fuss with your mate? Where do you go? She sits on the porch and she looks into the sky to see her destiny, and she becomes the King of Swords. She works this out by herself. Then she get a chance to look at herself and see what's needed or what's lacking. Yeah, let's try this right here. take care of herself. She takes care of herself. I don't know what that means. I don't know what the hell it meant. Let's see. It's almost like spiritually I have to leave you behind and focus on me and stick to my star, stick to my sign. It's almost like sitting on a porch and looking at a confirmation of her destiny and being at one with it. Yeah. I do have some people here that she could be leaning on. She could be leaning on a Cancer or an Aquarius that helps her in the midst of this disconnect or out of alignment moment in this relationship. There is a possible Cancer and Aquarius that she could be heavily, very heavy, spiritually connected to. This can be her counselor and her own spiritual advisor. Very calculated. So let's get back to the story. She looks at him as a beautiful option inside of her Two of Cups and a person that brings balance to her life. She likes the balance and the peace that he brings. Let's look at that deeper. Because we heard some things that's off, but now we get to see what's on. Yeah. I just heard waymaker. He's a waymaker. He keeps the past in the past. He stands in front of her toxic to prevent it from coming in. That's what this looks like. And I just saw Samson. I just saw Samson in the Bible. You may want to look at that. And now I'm seeing Samson's story even bigger. Yeah. He stands in front of her repeated patterns. He stands in front of her toxic pain. He stands in front of that door. That's the justice that he brings into her life. He stands, and his presence and his energy keeps her on this side of life. It really do. Keeps her on this side of life. Just imagine him standing in front of a door. If you guys read Samson, you can see some of these visuals. Believe it or not, in the Bible. Just read it for research if you need to. That's exactly what I'm picking up. Samson and Delilah. Wow. His energy, his presence stands in front of her past. And he brings an emotional comfort to her life and keeps her away from the past. Man, who wouldn't want a man like that? A healthy woman that can do it herself. That's who wouldn't. Okay. So, this is deep. He brings the balance, the righteousness in her life. He keep her right. And that kind of felt like like I really could have cussed her out or them out. But he keeps me balanced enough that I don't need to. I could react. I could respond. I don't have to speak if I don't want to. Because he keeps me in a place that I don't have to waste energy or use energy on anything that can pour me back into a toxic place. He stands in front of the door of the past and keeps her emotionally connected and alive so that she doesn't return back to troubled waters. Trouble, past. What happens if he move? And then that could make sense to why the air energy she sees as air energy as low. The mental state low. Because he's using so much physical and emotional strength to keep her doors closed, if that makes any sense. Let's look into what he is guarding. What is he guarding? What is these things in the past? What is he guarding? What is he standing in front of? Yeah. What is he blocking for her so that she doesn't experience it? What is that? That's really deep. Oh my goodness. This is strange. I said I wasn't going to say that no more. Because it's not strange. From them, it's not. Wow. I just almost felt like I wanted to say, he's blocking the little girl. The little girl in her. He's blocking the little girl issues. He's blocking her feminine issues. He's blocking issues in a womb. He's blocking issues with her parents. Issues as a parent. He's blocking her growth. Didn't know I was going to say that. But at the end of the day, that's true. I just heard my levees are broken. My levees are broken. What song is that? I look to you. Whitney Houston. I look to you. He's blocking her growth. Because that door needs to open. So all that stuff can just burst on in. And she can sort it while she stands in the water that's coming through. Because I just see this burst. If he moved out the way, I just see this burst of water that comes through. Not so high to the waist, but at the ankles. And this burst of cool water just comes through, and she begins to pick up those things. And she tosses them left and she tosses them right. And as she do it, it breaks her. And he breaks to his knees and cries because it's breaking her. He don't want to see nothing break her. But she needs to sort that out. Let's see what else he's blocking. Maybe that's why she excuses his air energy and debater, argumentative type communication, excuses that, and then moves forward to the star to get back to purpose. Like, Maybe she hops to that so quickly because of what he gives. Like, he gives so much. So why should I be worried about the air energy and the communication and the debater type communication? Why should I be worried about this friction that keeps us out of alignment? And then I could just use this chariot and just move forward to the star and then get back centered. So she's been centering herself back. And it's because of this mattress, secure bedding underneath, which is what he offers. Because you carry me, you keep healing and realigning yourself back to where you guys are at in the present. Been there, done that, and I understand it. I understand it. It's kind of like you can't get everything. And you know it's not going to be perfect. So what weakness of a man or a woman you want to deal with? That's pretty much what we're saying sometimes in the bliss or miss of a relationship. And at some point, you truly saying, which weakness I'd rather deal with? Will I rather deal with the weakness in this person or the weakness in that person? At the end of the day, we all got some type of sensitivity or weakness underneath. We all deal with the same emotions and we all have the same issues. Yeah, we do. They just look different. The face may be different, the date may be different, but the basics, the emotions and the pain and the hurt, we all share that same thing. Just painted and it's wrapped in different packages. And some of our issues tilt the scale more than the other. But we all got it. And I just talked about this in my women's group about a week ago when one of the ladies was confessing to procrastinating. Oh, I procrastinate all the time and I have stuff on my plate and I'd be so excited and so ready. Then I tend to just start walking backwards from the vision board. Sagittarius, right? That's what she was. And the other person was saying that they overthink everything. And when the person that was saying that they overthink everything, that was a Capricorn, right? She sure was. Saying that she overthink everything. Then the Sagittarius said, well, me too. I got that problem too. So the truth of the matter is we all got that problem. And some people tilt the scales more than the other. So it was really revealing to have that workshop with them. But let's see what else he's guarding. What else is he guarding? The Judgment. Well, Lisa, you still got judgment out here. You still got judgment. Some people call it karma. Some people call it reaping what you sow. You still got a consequence out here. There are some things that she has experienced, went through, initiated, or received, and there's a consequence to that behavior. It doesn't have to be bad either. But he's blocking that judgment. And you can't do that for too long. What happened to Samson at the end? Read the story. Tell me what happened to Samson. Samson can't do this for a long time. Jason can't do this for a long time. So he is blocking the growth and he's blocking the judgment. There are some previous things that she went through in life, and there's a consequence that she hasn't dealt with yet. It can just be realizing that you were wrong. We'll just say something small like that, which is actually a big part. That's a big one for a lot of people. But let's go. Yeah. There's some unhappiness that she has behind that door. And there is some unhappiness that she has caused to others. And all that is behind the door. And he is holding that back. And that's why he's keeping her balance in her eyes. Because he's blocking the door on a huge portion of healing that is really, really needed. She'll get it. We all get tired. We only human. Because if she ever, how can I say this, retaliated or gave him a consequence to the arguments or the disconnect in the mental, just imagine her punching him in the gut. Of course not physically, just doing it. But imagine her spiritually punching him in the gut or tickling him under the arms. Then he is going to break away from the door, at least put his arm down. If she ever counteracted to the relationship issues that she had with him, instead of going through the process of self-healing and excusing the behavior because of what he does for her, boy, that dough gonna come bursting out because he gonna have to protect himself. He's overworked. Don't you know how they tell Virgo? Like, Virgo, sit down. That's how that felt. Like, you are overworked, Jason. You have worked your butt off for this marriage. You overworked. That balance that he brings protects her from her past and the consequences of her past and the growth that's needed for her future and the lessons that needs to be learned. And it keeps her emotionally safe and available. He gird her. And that emotional healthiness that it brings on the outside of that door, the fulfillment that she get by not experiencing the door, it keeps her pushing forward so that she won't do what? Return, or so that bad behavior don't slip out. Saying, for instance, I could cuss you out, but Jason is here and he keeps me calm. That's just my example for that. Like I told you, he is an option or a part of her Ten of Cups, like a belt. Like the belt wrapped around the dress. Keeps her balance. And it keeps her spiritually woke. She's able to manifest more if you got to work less. Yeah, it makes sense to me. Let's see. Yeah. She got more than a rescue blanket, I tell you that. He has overworked himself. Oh my God, he's overworked. I haven't even made it to his side, and I know he's overworked. At this point, he is her water. He is her earth. She is her own fire, and he brings fire to make it go higher. She is her own fire. I mean, he is her Virgo, her Aquarius, and also her Capricorn. He is. He's working in a lot of areas in the spirit. Yeah. And I got her questioning her own weakness too. Because at the end of the day, and I do mean an end, at least about 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. in the morning, she has to wake up with this Virgo energy to be like, but why do I still don't feel healed? Why I still don't feel healed. I'm surprised it's not no a Ninosaurus here. She has to wake up and feel that. All the strength that's in this connection, I still have her feeling weak in the relationship or weakened by the relationship. Yeah. She passes out the commands and the duties of the relationship. She is the commander, but she doesn't have the last say. That's what it feels like. Well, let's go to him. So, how do you think he feels? He's happy. He's like, we are winners. I'm a winner with her. I'm a winner. I win. I win every obstacle, every argument, every debate, every conversation, every spiritual demon that tries to come against her or I am. We are winners. We fight against the past and we fight against forces of the future. And whoa, what we doing? We in love? Are you out here capturing damsels in distress? I don't know what he's doing. But he feels very, very, very successful. And he feels like a victor. He feels the victory. He looks at the relationship and he looks at her and he feels like a winner. That's how he explains his love. We are winners. We are overcomers. Really? Because I got a hangman here. You know, this reminds me of a Libra that I know. There's a Libra that I know who has experienced a lot of trauma in their life and some very deep, hard situations, but they don't remember for some reason or won't communicate it. They only communicate the good. You could tell the one story and they will only pick out the good. It's kind of like hopscotch. Like, okay, here we go. I'm on 2 feet. I got to tell this story. We got 1 through 7 on the ground. And I got to only focus on 1, 3, and 7. I cannot bring up the other ones because it's going to throw off the balance and I'm going to fall. And I don't want to skin myself, and I don't want to bleed, and I don't want to hurt, and I don't want to have to recover, and I don't want to need medicine, and I don't want bandages, and I don't want to be seen and falling. Yeah, that's how that felt when that hangman came in like that. Like, what? So, like I said, you really feel like they're winners, but he also feels trapped and stuck. I'm sure, and I don't even know where, but that would make sense to me because you're not aligned with her. In that moment, you're not. So let's see, why you feel so strapped, so stuck and restricted and off balance, and why you don't feel grounded when you just said we won. Because you want something new too. Oh. What I have for him is basically saying, we win every fight. We win every battle. We always recover. We always catch everything. We don't drown. But I would want to live in a life that is more consistent. He wants to be in the winning of life, not just a winner and then a winner again on that full moon, and then you become a winner again on another full moon. And he wants to have more of a consistent life of winning. He wants to live in a winning situation. He wants to stay in the winner's seat. He don't even want to experience anything that causes them to have to fight for a win. So that's where he's stuck at. How do I get us to win consistently? How do I get a new beginning? Something that's structured, something that is grounded. How do I keep us in the positive? How do I keep us there? That's what he don't know how to do yet. This is how he feels about the relationship with her. We always come through. We always win. I'm just stuck when it comes to how to keep us grounded and how to keep us in a winning situation. I want a new beginning that has what? Consistent. Something consistent. He wants to be more consistent. He wants to live like this every day. And he has desires to be more structured. But that goes against the desire of what their advice was. The separation brings healing. The space brings healing. Stable. He want to keep it the same. I'm not saying he's going so far as like Groundhog Day. But it's like, why come every Sunday she calls a meeting and paint a new way of living? Why is there a new issue? Why is there a new plan? Why is there always some spiritual thing that we need to work on? Why we have to do this every Sunday? That's just my example of explaining what I'm seeing. So I got him here with the Six of Wands to express how he's feeling about this connection, but there's a whole lack of understanding. And she says the same thing, like, yeah, his air energy is a little low. And I don't know how to properly say this without being negative or affecting anyone, but I kind of got a sense of him being challenged in the mental area as well. So I don't know if that's something that you guys, I'm not a big fan of him. I haven't followed him. I watched a couple movies of his, but is that something that you guys know about him? Because I do have this challenge in the mind, and it do feels delayed, and it do feel slow or slower. I don't know if there's any like learning disabilities or anything like that is going on, but I am feeling that. I kind of felt it through hers, and I feel it through his too. And maybe that's why she's a spiritual lead or the lead. But there's a lack of understanding here. He needs a revelation. He needs understanding on how to offer. He doesn't. It's kind of like, I brought you the basket of potatoes now. Why is there a problem? But you didn't cut them and you didn't rinse them. It's like he doesn't understand the process to a plan, or like don't understand why things change. Like why things change, and why is there a process, and why is that just not enough? He has a simple way of doing things and understanding things, and the details and contrasts and all that, it's not there. It's not there. Like, I want more affection. So he comes and he hugs you. And you shouldn't bring it up again, right? Because he did it. And it's like a lack of consistency in him. Okay, let's keep going. Wow, yeah. He doesn't understand. He doesn't understand how to keep things moving continuously. And he offers so much. Well, I'm saying so much, but I don't think he would. I think he'll be like, well, I offered this, I offered that. What else should I offer? It feels like he welcomes the work. Like I'm welcoming the work in. Give me more to do. He's looking for more. Whatever it takes to keep this levels upright. He's serious about this connection. Yes, he's very, very serious. So, that's it. It's nothing more than that. Willing to do whatever it takes to win the obstacle. So what's next for them? They're not breaking up, that's for sure. It's more of the same. More of the same. But I really think I know what could be next for them. The card says it's pretty much a repeated pattern of the same thing. More of the Nine of Wands. And then more revelation with the moon. And they clear it up for a time. For a time. Yeah, for a time. A little bit more of this. Then they fix it. And they do it again. But based on what we've been going so far, either she can tell him to get out of the way and let me do this, or he can be weakened and overwhelmed and breaking down in front of that door for her until he gets just as tired as her. And that door knock him down. That pass comes out. The filter is removed and it knocks him down. Or she can join him and they both hold this door together and both be overwhelmed by holding the door. But at least they'll be doing it together and bending over, and I see the hump in the back, and doing it together. Yeah. But if you want to relieve each other and get some more peace and some more energy, she would definitely say, you get away from that door. Let me take care of this. And you stand over there to the side and cry as long as you want to. I'm taking on this responsibility so it can get out of our relationship. Because if not, every time they experience the Nine of Wands and get the understanding with the moon, they're still going through exactly what the oracle talked about. Reuniting, needing to abandon each other, to self-heal, to come back together. They've been doing that forever. Okay, so this is what I have. I enjoyed it. I love it. I hope you guys didn't think it was bad or a bad one for them. It just really is like, it's detailed to a point where they can be the best couple ever. And they are. They are. Who desires to protect each other in this kind of way. It's not one-sided. She protects him too. She is like, she does the brain work. They protect each other so much. You don't find that kind of love. And that's the beautiful thing. And you can learn a lot off of that. Alrighty, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.